Hi guys, my name is Judy Scala, and of course, I'm your nursing buddy, and in this video, I will be having another series of rationalization. Alam kong na-miss din nyo ang ating mga rationalization, and of course, for our free videos, ibibigay po natin to dahil malapit na naman po ang ating board examinations. So ngayon, ang pag-uusapan natin is all about your pharmacology nursing. Yan. This is one of the, kumbaga, inaayawan ng ating mga nurses, ng ating mga future nurses, and even in the nursing school, nahihirapan talaga tayo when it comes to our pharmacology nursing. And believe it or not, pharma is not just about memorization. It's a subject na kung saan ay kailangan po nating mag-isip ng lalo because lahat po ng mga konsepto sa ating pharmacology nursing ay magkakadugtong, and then it needs critical thinking dahil nakadepende po sa reaction ng katawan ng tao kung ano ang magiging action ni nurse right after a cue or a certain assessment, symptoms, or manifestation na ay lumabas sa ating pasyente. Okay, so now we'll be talking about pharmacology nursing, and specifically ang pag-uusapan po natin dito are those medications with this what we call as your NTI or your narrow therapeutic index. Ano yun, sir? Of course, narrow therapeutic index, sa madaling sabi, these are those medications or may mga medications sa ating pharmacology nursing na kung saan ay meron pong mga limits or may mga tinatawag nating mga numero or ranges na kung saan we need to have them normalized in our body at that certain level. So ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang substance or medication na ito ay pumasok sa ating katawan, kapag sumobra ito or kulang naman, ay magiging masama ang epekto nito sa ating katawan. And that's what we call as your narrow therapeutic index or simply as your therapeutic index. At may mga certain medications po na may mga mini-maintain tayo ng mga therapeutic index, at yan po ang pag-uusapan natin upon our rationalization in this video. Okay, so don't go away. So let's have our first question here. So a client daw is on phenytoin therapy at nag-present ng nystagmus and ataxia or ataxia. What is the nurse's best action? Okay, uulitin ko, ang isang pasyente daw ay nasa phenytoin therapy. Okay? At nagkaroon ng nystagmus and ataxia. Ano daw ang pinakamainam na magiging aksyon ni nurse? Pag-usapan muna natin kung ano nga ba ang phenytoin. Alam natin ang phenytoin ay isa po itong, it's a type of your medication that's given for your seizure. Very good tayo dyan. So, ano daw ang best action dito dahil nung tinik ito ni pasyente, nagkaroon ng nystagmus at ataxia? Letter A, document the findings as expected side effects. Letter B, hold the next dose and notify the physician. Letter C naman, administer the medication with food. And letter D, encourage increased fluid intake. Tingnan po natin ang tanong at usisain natin mabuti ang mga cues na naandito. When I say cues, ibig sabihin these are the assessments na makikita natin sa tanong. Nystagmus and then ataxia. Una mo palang nakita, ibig sabihin it's not normal. So wag mong isasagot ang isang bagay na okay lang para kay nurse, na i-do-away na natin to, or okay lang, it's just normal lang yan. So you don't answer those options. Basically, you don't answer letter A, this is not an expected side effect. Nag-a-attack siya at nagninistagmus ng pasyente mo, you will just say, it's just a normal manifestation or side effect sa pasyente mo. So you need to think right away. Okay? So letter C, administer the medication with food. Ano naman ang kinalaman ngayon? So kapag mag-administer ka ba with food, will the nystagmus and ataxia go away? So these are some things that you need to think about. Of course, sabi naman ng ating mga estudyante, Sir, I'm beginning to over-rationalize kapag ganyan ang ginagawa ko. Well, mainam din na you need to critically think of those cues and then compare it with your options that's available sa A, B, C, and D. Kasi kapag hindi sila tugma, ibig sabihin kapatid, hindi yan ang tamang sagot. Letter D, encourage fluid intake. Does it mean kapag mag-increase ang fluid intake ko, the nystagmus and ataxia will go away? No. Of course, no. The best action here or the safest answer here is of course to hold the next dose and notify the physician. And even if you don't necessarily know the answer, kapatid, again, uulitin ko, your Philippine Nurse Licensure Examination is a safety exam. The safest answer is the best answer. So, ang tamang sagot dito, class, is letter B. Hold the next dose and notify the physician. Tandaan natin, nystagmus and ataxia are, kumbaga, these are not normal manifestations. These are actually extreme manifestations. Okay? So, remember, the patient is on phenytoin therapy, and phenytoin is a type of medication na meron tayong NTI or narrow therapeutic index. Ibig sabihin, posibleng sumobra tayo sa phenytoin therapy dito or posible ding mababa. Okay? So, those could be the questions that starts to linger in your mind. But for this case, of course, we need to think dahil nag-a-attack siya nystagmus, remember that these are neuro symptoms. So, ibig sabihin, sobra, okay? Or nagkakaroon na ng toxicity si pasyente mo. Nystagmus and ataxia are indicative of your phenytoin toxicity, and phenytoin has a very, very narrow therapeutic index, which is 10 to 20, okay, mcg per ml. So, you need to write that down, class. You need to write that down. 10 to 20. It's very easy to understand, very easy to memorize. Okay? So, the next dose or the dose to be given must be held, and then, of course, you need to notify the physician. I hope and I pray and I know that you got the correct answer here. So, B is the best answer. Galing. Let's have another question. A patient daw is receiving digoxin, okay? And then nag-report siya ng blurred vision and yellow halos. Yan. The nurse's priority action. Ayan. Alam nyo, these are my favorite types of question because this actually makes a nurse very, very critical thinker. So, si pasyente daw ay nagda-digoxin, or commonly known as your digoxin, for our layman's term, and then reports blurred vision. So, nagkaroon siya ng blurred vision while nagda-digoxin, and also those yellow halos, okay? So, the nurse's priority action is letter A, give oxygen via nasal cannula. Letter B, withhold digoxin and check the serum level. Letter C, encourage the patient to ambulate. Letter D, provide reassurance and recheck after an hour. Class, sa kahit na anumang point of your nursing practice test in your licensure examination, you don't answer reassuring your patient. Okay? Remember that one. You don't reassure your patient. You don't use this very, very unsafe terminology. That's why letter D is wrong for this question. Okay, we eliminate letter D. So, we only have A, B, and C. Of course, no? So, sabi sa letter A, give oxygen via nasal cannula. Will this action remove the blurred vision and the yellow halos? Definitely no. Okay? Letter C, encourage the patient to ambulate. Class, your patient is already having this blurred vision. May yellow halos pa. Ibig sabihin, may mali na sa kanyang neuro, may mali na sa kanyang sensory and perception. So, you don't encourage your patient here to ambulate. It might cause your patient to fall. It might cause your patient na mas maging malala pa yung kanyang experience on blurred vision and then yellow halos. So, just like the first question that we have earlier, of course, the best answer here is letter B. Okay? Again and again and again and again. The safest answer goes to the safe nurse. So, safe nurse will answer letter B. Visual disturbances are signs of digoxin toxicity. You remember that one. Okay? So, the nurse should withhold the drug and check the digoxin serum level. Okay? And then the therapeutic level po natin dito is 0.5 to 2 nanogram per ml. Remember that one. Okay? 0.5 to 2. That's why it's very, very narrow. It's very, very close. So, kapag 0.5 to 2, you are still in your normal range. Okay, so kapag toxicity, ibig sabihin, extreme. It must be higher. Okay, so remember that one. So the best answer for this one is, of course, letter B. Yan. So napakagaling. B is the best answer. Let's have another question. The nurse prepares to administer ito, lithium carbonate. Ito naman, lithium carbonate yung ibibigay natin sa pasyente. Which lab result warrants holding the dose? Yan. So, alin daw sa mga sumusunod ang magsasabi sa atin na hindi natin dapat ibigay ang lithium carbonate, no, na prepare ni nurse? Sabi sa letter A, sodium of 142. Okay? B, lithium of 1.1. Letter C, lithium of 2. Okay? And then letter D, potassium of 4. Yan. So, isipin na natin kagad, no? Lithium carbonate. Ano nga ba ang lithium carbonate? Lithium carbonate is a medication na ibinibigay po natin for our patient na merong mania or may problem in the stabilization of mood. That's why lithium carbonate is an anti-manic or mood stabilizer. Ayan. So, ginagamit natin to sa ating psychiatric nursing. Yan. This is a very, very definitive medication at ito po ay merong NTI or Narrow Therapeutic Index. Okay? Sa mga sumusunod daw, alin ang magwawarrant sa atin or alin dito sa mga sumusunod na magsasabi na we need to withhold or hold the next medication. Okay, so the best answer here, class, is letter C. Tandaan mo, ang inyong lithium, it has also a narrow therapeutic level of 0.6 to 1.2. Just like it's like 12, and then you divide 12 by 2, that's why it's 6. So 1.2 and then 0.6. So 0.6 to 1.2, that's the therapeutic level for our lithium. Okay, so lithium therapeutic level of 0.6 to 1.2 or a level of normal, no, na therapeutic level ng ating or normal therapeutic index ng ating lithium would warrant na okay lang. So sabi sa letter B, that's why letter B is just normal. Okay, so you don't need to hold the next medication or the next dose. Okay, so letter A, what is the normal sodium level? It's 135 to 145. We know that. So 142 is just still at the normal range of our normal sodium levels. How about letter D? Lalo na sa letter D, this is also normal, no? 3.5 to 4.5 po ang ating normal hanggang 5 na potassium levels. So this is still normal. Okay, so that's why the best answer here, class, is of course letter C. This is already lithium. This signifies lithium toxicity. Ayan. So, napakagaling ng ating mga nurses. Okay, so let's answer the next question. Sabi dito, which instruction daw should the nurse emphasize to a client, okay, on warfarin? You are very familiar with this warfarin. Alam mo, nakakalito talaga si warfarin tsaka si heparin. Yan. And I know it's just normal because palagi po silang magkasama or it's quite para silang nakakalito talaga. And that's just normal. So, ano daw dito ang need nating i-highlight kapag ang pasyente natin ay nasa warfarin, okay, therapy? Sabi sa letter A, avoid green leafy vegetables completely. Ayan. Okay, letter B, report signs of bleeding immediately. Letter C, use aspirin for headaches. Letter D, stop the medications or stop the medication if gums bleed. Okay? So, ano daw i-emphasize natin dito, kapatid? Okay. So, the best answer dito, kapatid, is of course, letter B. Report signs of bleeding immediately. Why? Remember that warfarin has a very, very narrow therapeutic index of 2 to 3. Ang tinitingnan po natin dito is the INR. Okay? So, remember, warfarin is for INR. Okay? So, patients must report bleeding promptly dito. Okay, let's try to analyze letters A, C, and D. Bakit sila mali? So, to avoid green leafy vegetables completely, unang-una, we have a very, very dangerous term dito, kapatid. You don't answer those options na mayroong completely, totally. Those are very, very dangerous terms. Okay, so that's why you remove or you eliminate letter A. Sabi naman sa letter C, use aspirin for headaches. Okay, you use aspirin for headaches. Class, you don't use aspirin for headaches here. Mas lalala, class, ang mas magiging malala ang blood thinning factor mo or the tendency for our patient to have bleeding. Okay, so you don't use aspirin. It's a no-no. Letter D, stop the medication if gums bleed. You don't stop abruptly medications like warfarin. It needs to be tapered down, class. Okay, so letter B is the best answer for this one. Of course, report signs of bleeding immediately. Eto, a client is receiving theophylline. Ito, I'm very quite familiar with this one because recently nagkaroon tayo ng pasyente no, na nag-need ng theophylline and then aminophylline. Okay, so a client is receiving theophylline for asthma. Okay, so which finding indicates toxicity? Letter A, insomnia. Letter B, increased respiratory rate. Letter C, relief of wheezing. Letter D, decreased cough. Okay, so ano daw dito kapatid ang nagsasabi sa atin that our patient is already having toxicity towards theophylline. Okay, sabi sa letter A, tremors. Yan. Alam niyo ang ating theophylline, it's a type of medication that's given for patients, of course, no, alam natin to, na nag-asthma. Okay? These are types of your bronchodilators. However, this is a type of bronchodilators that acts very slowly. However, ang effect po nito is a bit longer than those that are usually used for aerosolization, just like your salbutamol, just like your those medications na used in the emergency room, no, for yung mga puff po natin. Ito, ang effect po nito is much longer. However, this is very slow acting. Okay, very slow po ang take effect po nito. So now, sabi sa letter A, tremors and insomnia. Letter B, increased respiratory rate. C, relief of wheezing. Relief of wheezing is actually our goal here. Okay, so you don't answer this one. You don't answer letter C because that's what we want to happen. That's why we are giving our patient theophylline. Letter C, increased respiratory rate. Possible, mamaya balikan natin to. Tremors and insomnia. And then decreased cough. Decreased cough is also our goal here. So you don't answer letter C and letter D. So the battle is between letter A and letter B. So, naka-theophylline si pasyente and then sinasabi dito, nagto-toxicity daw ang ating pasyente. Anlin daw sa dalawa na to, sa letter A and letter B, nagsasabi na si pasyente natin ay nasa toxicity phase na ng theophylline administration. Okay, so the best answer dito kapatid is letter A, tremors and insomnia. Alam niyo, this set of neuro-related na ating mga adverse effects are, you need to group this one into one. Just like kanina sa ating very first question in your phenytoin, these are adverse effect. Kung mapapansin niyo in all of the system natin sa katawan, kapag nakakakita tayo ng neuro symptoms or neuro adverse effects, these are actually those effects, or these are the condition or manifestation that we don't really want to happen. Okay? Increased respiratory rate, it's actually, increased respiratory rate is maybe a sign of not toxicity, but this is under dosing or under medication of theophylline. Because our goal here is to normalize the respiratory rate ng ating pasyente. So letter B does not necessarily mean na toxicity ang nangyayari sa pasyente natin. Okay, so tremors, restlessness, insomnia, seizures, all of these neuro-related symptoms, they actually depicts or it tells us that the patient is at toxicity phase or stage. So remember that one. A is the best answer for this question. I know you're getting it right. Magagaling kapatid. Let's have another question here. A nurse daw is about to administer aminoglycosides. Yan. Example ng aminoglycoside, gentamicin. So, all of those medication na may mga mycin. Okay? Azithromycin. So, all of those medications are aminoglycosides. Okay? So, a nurse daw is about to administer that medication. Pero ano daw ang imo-monitor natin closely? sa pasyente na to. Letter A, serum calcium. Letter B, serum sodium. Letter C, creatinine and BUN. Letter D, serum potassium. Ito alang-alala ko pa ha. While I was in the nursing school, kapag sinabi nating aminoglycoside, gentamicin, all of those medications, that's why we must be very, very careful with the types of your antibiotics. We don't actually give or administer them to our patients abruptly without really proper kumbaga, we don't do malpractice kasi ang mga common lalo-lalo na dito sa Pilipinas is that ang lalapitan talaga ng ating mga kaibigan, ang lalapitan ng ating mga kapitbahay, even our classmates. Guys, ano nga ba ang magandang gamot dito? Ang mga bang, syempre si nurse, this is my opportunity already to help my friends. So ang nangyayari sa iyo is you will advise really what is the best medication doon sa in-inquire nila. So you don't do that, class ha. Okay, you don't do that. You are not a doctor. That's a type of malpractice. Yan. So baka baka pa tayo maging cause ng another problem para sa ating pasyente. Alala ko nung nasa nursing school ako, kapag nakakarinig ako ng mycin, lalo ang pinaka-tinatandaan ko talaga is gentamicin. This is very, very dangerous to your kidney. Remember that one ha. Gentamicin, or a group of medication which we call as your aminoglycosides or aminoglycosides, they are very, very nephrotoxic. So, ang kailangan bantayin po natin dito is your creatinine and your BUN. Okay? These medications has this very, very narrow therapeutic index. So, you need to monitor the therapeutic levels for the aminoglycosides or aminoglycosides level ng ating pasyente, and to also do a parallel monitoring for your renal function tests. And ang example po nito ay yung creatinine and then your BUN. You need to remember that one. Okay? So, aminoglycoside, nephrotoxic. It damages and it destroys the kidneys. Remember that one. Okay? So, a patient daw, ito next medication naman, is on a carbamazepine for seizure. Yan. So, nasa seizure daw or may seizure disorder, possible ang pasyente natin dito, and then carbamazepine siya, at nag-develop dito si pasyente ng sore throat and then fever. Yan, alam na natin to, lumalabas, ang madalas to lumalabas sa ating board examination. The nurse suspects, okay? The nurse suspects daw, letter A, normal side effect. Uulit-ulitin ko sa iyo, class. Okay? Sore throat and fever, these are not normal side effects of your any medications, class. You don't allow your patient to go on this one, sore throat and then fever. It's not a normal side effect. Okay, so you eliminate letter A. B, C, and D, early sign of toxicity. Letter C, agranulocytosis. Or letter D, hypokalemia. Hypokalemia, even if you think of anything, wala siyang relate sa ating fever and sore throat. Alam nyo, kapag pinag-usapan ang ating potassium, you just think of your muscles, including your heart muscle. Kasi ang ating potassium is just responsible for the contraction and then relaxation of your muscles, including your heart muscle. Kapag mataas si potassium mo, malakas ang beating or malakas ang contraction. Kapag naman mababa, edi mababa din. Ganun lang ang kanyang role sa ating katawan, kapatid. Okay, so ngayon nalaman mo na yun. Now, for this one, letter B or letter C, early sign of toxicity or agranulocytosis. So the best answer for this one is letter C. Remember, carbamazepine has a narrow therapeutic index. That's why nandito to sa ating set of questions. At dito, agranulocytosis is a condition kung saan napakababa po ng ating pong white blood cells. Is a very, very serious side effect or adverse effect rather, requiring immediate medical attention ng inyong carbamazepine. What is your carbamazepine? It's a medication used for seizures. However, this is used for your simpler type of seizures or those that are short, types of seizure na nangyari in a very, very short span, very abrupt. Carbamazepine is the type of medication that we give. Okay, so we also give this one for other neuro disorders such as your trigeminal neuralgia. So we give this carbamazepine. Okay, so ang adverse effect nito, kapatid, remember that one, carbamazepine, agranulocytosis. Okay, C is the best answer for this question. You got it right there. Next, eto, sagutin naman natin to. Which lab result indicates safe therapy for a patient taking valproic acid? Sir, purong mga seizure medications to ah. Yes, valproic acid is also a seizure medication. Alam natin yan. Just like your phenytoin kanina, just like your carbamazepine. However, valproic acid is one of those na pinakamatagal na talagang ginagamit. Ito, this is type of your seizure medication that's given in a wide or variety types of seizures. Sa madaling sabi, very generic to. It could be used in whatever type of your seizures, and this could be used also as a parallel therapy, okay? Valproic acid. Okay, so ang tandaan lang natin dito kapatid, NTI din to, Narrow Therapeutic Index din po ang valproic acid, and remember class that ito generic siya or general, or this is used in your wide array of your seizure disorders. So, which lab result daw sa mga sumusunod ang nag-indicate na safe? Yan o, safe. From the word itself, very, very safe. Okay? So, in short, ang tinatanong lang dito, alin sa mga sumusunod ang normal? Okay, letter A, AST of 90. Letter B, platelets of 300. Letter C, valproic acid of 150. Yung mismong level niya ang tinanong. Letter D, ALT is 120. Huwag kayong magsisisure kaagad, baka kayong bigyan ng valproic acid kapag nabasa ninyo ang AST at ALT. Simply, these are your liver functions. Okay? Tinitingnan lang dito yung mga liver functions. Baka isipin ninyo, valproic acid is a hepatotoxic medication. Okay, possible, pwede. Pero eto, napakasimple lang alam ninyo kapag tingnan natin ang options, we will already know what is the correct answer. The big word here sa ating mga options, kapatid, is we have here the word. Ito ha, I will use the laser here. The word safe. Yan. Safe. Which indicates safe therapy for a patient with valproic acid. So, ibig sabihin, alin sa mga options na to, nililito lang tayo ng tanong eh. Alin sa mga options na yan ang safe? Nagva-valproic daw si pasyente. Pero, alin dito sa mga sumusunod na magsasabi na okay lang na naka-valproic acid siya? Okay? So, letter A, B, C, or D. So, ang tamang sagot dito, kapatid, ito ha, isa ang makikita natin diyang normal. Ako, kahit hindi ko alam what is valproic acid, tingnan ko lang ang options. When I was still in the nursing school, and even when I took the board exam and also the NCLEX, ang tinitingnan ko palagi kapag hindi ko alam yung concept, it's the set of the options that's given. Kapag diningnan mo ang option dito, look at ano ang alam mo dyan? Probably, alam ko lang, platelet. At ang normal level ng platelet na alam ko is 150 hanggang 400. Tama? Okay, 150 hanggang 400. 300 is still normal. Tama ba? Is it safe? Is it normal? The answer is correct. Okay, so the best answer for this one, class. Okay, so the best answer for this one is, yan. So the correct answer for this one is, of course, letter B, platelets. Okay, valproic acid is, ang therapeutic level po niyan is 50 to 100. So, ang 150 na nasa letter C, that's already elevated. So, that's not normal. So, unsafe yan. That's not the correct answer. Sabi sa letter A, 90, AST of 90. Ang AST of 90, that's too high. A 40 ang ang ating boundary. At also for ALT of 120, mataas din yan, hanggang 100 lang ang normal, kapatid. So, the best answer for this one is, of course, your platelet. So, B is the correct answer. Very good tayo dyan. Okay? So, I know you got it right there. I'm teaching you a lot of things, lalo-lalo na pagdating sa mga technique kapag hindi mo alam ang konsepto. But of course, you need to be prepared with the concept. So, you need to be concept ready for you to be able to use all of those techniques. Okay? So, kanina letter B is the best answer. So let's have another question. A client daw is on cyclosporine medication. Ito na naman, sir. Ano tong cyclosporine na to? Okay? So, sinabi na dito, cyclosporine for transplant rejection, and asks why blood tests are done frequently. The nurse responds. Ayan. Cyclosporine is basically a medication na ginagamit natin for patients na nagkaroon ng transplant or organ transplant, just like ang pinaka-common na transplant sa tao, it's the kidney transplant. Alam natin yan, nangyayari commonly yan. Dinadaanan natin yan sa QC, the NKTI, the National Kidney Transplant Institute. Yan. So, nag-transplant si pasyente and then binibigyan po natin ng cyclosporine. Cyclosporine is a type of medication na immunosuppressant. So, bakit natin binibigyan ng immunosuppressant si pasyente na nag-kidney transplant? Ganito lang yan kadali. Nandito na yung word na transplant rejection, and that's correct. Ito actually yung inaiwasan natin. So, we were giving the patient your cyclosporine. Ang other term dito is yung tinatawag natin organ rejection. Remember, ang kidney ni pasyente ay all along akala ko talaga kapag nagta-transplant, when I was still in college, akala ko kapag nagta-transplant, totally tinatanggal yung kidney. The answer is no. Yung kidney ng pasyente, yung original kidney niya, nandyan pa rin. But it is just actually taken to the side and then inilalagay na yung bagong kidney, the transplanted kidney, mula sa certain donor. Okay? So, may mga cross-matching na ginagawa, whether match ba ang pasyente or not. So, for us to avoid this, what we call as your organ rejection, kasi ang consideration ng katawan natin as a normal compensatory mechanism, the transplanted kidney is considered as alien sa katawan natin. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan normal, hindi ako ang may-ari ng kidney na yan. So, ganyan ang drama ng ating katawan. So, ang gagawin ng katawan natin is i-reject yung organ na yan, and that's what we call as your organ rejection. At sinong gumagawa niyan? It's your immune system. And for that to be avoided, ang binibigyan natin sa pasyente, we give our patient your cyclosporine. Okay? Cyclosporine is a type of medication that's given to avoid organ rejection or transplant rejection. Ngayon, ang tanong ng pasyente dito, why blood tests are done frequently? Ano ang tamang sagot dapat ni nurse? Letter A, to check if the medication is still effective. Letter B, to ensure the drug dose does not fall below or exceed safe levels. Letter C, monitor vitamin absorption. Letter D, to detect early hypertension. Ang kinalaman ng vitamin absorption dito? Ang kinalaman dito ng to detect early hypertension. Okay, so the best answer dito, kapatid, is of course letter B. Okay, cyclosporine has a narrow therapeutic index. That's why nandito to sa set of questions na to. Drug levels must be monitored to prevent toxicity or rejection. So in the case of your cyclosporine class, of course, maybe we are underdosing or maybe din naman we are kumbaga beyond and over the normal levels nito. So ang mangyayari din is very very low din ang desired effect natin, or mababa talaga super yung ating pong immune system, and we don't want that to happen. So B is the best answer for this one. Okay? So let's have another question. Ito. A patient with atrial fibrillation is prescribed dabigatran. Dabigatran, or ang ating pong branding dito is Pradaxa. So the nurse reinforces which key teaching? Yan, magsisisure ka na. Nakita mo na yung dabigatran. Huwag ka muna magsisisure, kapatid. Okay? So sabi sa letter A, take with aspirin daily. Letter B, do not stop the drug abruptly without medical advice. Letter C, skip a missed dose if more than 6 hours late. Letter D, check your INR weekly. INR, wag kang palilito, kapatid. Si INR, ginagamit natin yan kanino? Kay warfarin. Very good. So you don't answer that one here. It's a no-no. Letter D is eliminated. Letter A, B, or C. Take aspirin daily. Ang nangyayari dito sa pasyente natin is nag-atrial fibrillation. Explain ko lang sa inyo ha. When I took the NCLEX, it's where I really, really understood this very, very deeply. Ang nangyayari sa atrial fibrillation is your heart is doing like this. Just imagine yung heart mo ay na-stuck at para siyang nagva-vibrate. Vibrate. Okay, that's what we call as your atrial fibrillation. So now, for that to stop, for your heart to go back to the normal pumping function, you need to defibrillate. That's why you now know it makes sense na, kaya pala defibrillation, kasi we need to defibrillate, and that's correct. Ang heart po natin, kapag ganyan, hindi siya nagno-normal pumping. Remember, posibleng mag-clot sa loob ng heart mo, posibleng mamatay ang pasyente mo because of coagulation. So we don't want that to happen. Para ma-avoid yung coagulation, you give your patient the Bigetran. Okay? So, Pradaxa. So, now, ano dito ang reinforce mo? Okay. Sabi sa letter A, B, take with aspirin. Okay, so letter B, do not stop the drug abruptly without medical advice. So, actually, ang safest answer dito, class, is letter B. Okay? You don't stop the drug abruptly. And that's correct. Okay? Without medical, dinagdagan pa o without medical advice, it's a safe answer. Pagdating sa PNLE class, the safest answer, the one that gives you the safest, the most sound option, that's the correct answer, kapatid. Okay? So the Bigetran is an anticoagulant and with, of course, NPI. Stopping abruptly increases the risk for stroke. So we don't want that to happen. I explained to you kung anong atrial fibrillation in a very, very simple manner. INR monitoring is not required because ginagamit natin yan sa warfarin. Letter C, you don't do that. Skip a missed dose. Inuutusan mo pa yung pasyente, no, to skip a dose. Or inuutusan pa dito yung nurse to skip a dose if more than 6 hours late. You don't also do that. So the best answer for this one is, of course, letter B. B is the best answer dito, kapatid. I know you got it right. Okay? Yan. So maraming salamat for being with me in this episode po ng ating rationalization. Tabayanan po ninyo ang ating mga susunod pa ng mga rationalization. Of course, no, magsama-sama po tayo dito sa ating YouTube channel at follow me also sa ating mga Facebook pages at other social media lines. So, God bless po. Hanga po ako sa ating mga Filipino nurses. Okay, for more nursing tips, kapatid, follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel.